look at how to change the belt, because you're going to need to change the belt when it goes bad and when it gets damaged or ruined. This one's got a little bit of a tear in it already, so it's probably time to change this one out. You can see the tear right there. And we're going to look at how the belt tracking works. These two knobs don't actually adjust the belt tracking. They lock the tracking in place so that it doesn't move when you're in use. But you have to loosen these up and then stick a rod in here and twist some knobs around. We're going to look at that when it's apart. So the first thing we're going to do is just to get access to the underside. I'm going to lift this up into the upward position. There are 4 bolts that need to be removed. It should be easier to change a belt than this, but this one's a little complicated. You actually have to take the plate off and there are no quick release knobs to remove the plate. I'm going to hold the plate up while I undo the last one. And the plate comes off, just like that. In order to take the belt off, we need to loosen these 2 knobs up, the ones that lock it into its good tracking position, and then we adjust the lever 90 degrees. The belt should slide off, and the new one should slide on. Sometimes these have an arrow inside showing which way is the correct way for the belt to go. If you turn and put it in backwards, it will just tear itself apart. I don't see an arrow on this one. Let's hope it goes in both ways. That just slides in there. And then we're going to lock the knob and we're going to adjust the tracking. But before we adjust the tracking, let's take a look at how the tracking mechanism actually works so that we can understand that. So this knob locks this into its fully extended position, just like that. These 2 knobs lock it down into final position, but we want those to be loose when we're adjusting the tension. These arms will rotate with an Allen wrench or a hex key of some sort. And the same thing over here. This can rotate tighter or looser, depending on which way we need it to go. So that's how the adjustments work. Let's loosen that up. Slide our belt on. Lock it in place. Reattach our bottom plate. Whenever you're attaching bolts onto any device in any situation, usually you want to kind of put them all 4 in at the same time. So I haven't super tightened them down yet. I've just sort of loosely finger tightened them as far as they will go, finger tightening, just turning the socket in my hands. Now I'm going to tighten them down, and I want to kind of tighten them all evenly. So I'm going to do a little bit of tightening in this one, then I'll go opposite, then I'll go opposite and opposite. Kind of keep working them around so that they all kind of get tightened evenly. Just like changing a flat tire. You don't want to lock something on crooked. We're going to put this back down into the lower position. Whenever changing belts or working on a tool, you want to make sure it's unplugged. So we unplugged it first. Now we're plugging it back in. This is probably going to wander, so I'm going to turn it on briefly and then see what happens. Wandering this way. It's wandering this way. So the instructions say turn this knob to the right to move the belt towards you, or turn it left to make it go away from you. So we actually want to go towards us, but this one won't go anymore. So that means I have to come over here and loosen it up a few turns. It's getting worse. So, I'm going to do this while it's in motion. You will need to do that while it's in motion. I think I went just a fraction of an inch too far, so I'm going to go back again. I'm happy with that, so I'm going to lock both of these knobs down really tight. And that looks pretty good. The new belt is really aggressive. Had to go really light there.